Historical armies. That is what we are going to be talking about today. Now, I've talked about army commanders. I've talked about generals. I've even talked about what people in history I believe have the most aura, okay? And this will be in that same vein. But one thing I am shocked I haven't done is going over the most aura-filled armies throughout world history. No. I do got to admit this. Most of these are going to be personal favorites of mine that one way or another have made it onto this list because they just stick in my mind, okay? There's probably going to be some big hitters that aren't going to make the list, and I probably will get a few things wrong. I might not be able to know how to say their names perfectly. However, okay, aura is a universal language, and as a self-declared auraologist, I'm going to be ranking them on how much aura that they have and ranking them in a tier list, okay? We have everything from Vikings from Scandinavia to the Hussar cavalry, all the way to the Knights Templar and many, many more, and we are putting them in a tier list by how much aura I believe that they have, okay? I just want to get into this because this is one of them historical rants that I get to let loose on, okay? These feel good, and this is going to be a good Monday video, and I hope y'all are having a great day. However, if you're not having a great day, do you know what's going to help you out? Like, comment, and subscribe, okay? Positivity out, positivity in, okay? What goes around, come around. I think that's like a whole karma thing, okay? And that is what I need from you. We're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I think we're going to be able to do it because of the support of you guys. And with all that out of the way, let's get into historical armies with the most aura. Let's go. Vikings. Now, let me just tell you something about Vikings, mon ami, okay? Vikings might be one of the most overrated militant groups in human history. Yep, I said it, okay? You was lied to, okay? They were not wearing helmets with horns and everything, okay? No, let's just boil it down for what it was. These were some hardened men living in some cold Scandinavian wilderness, and they heard about some place called Vinland, and they were like, hey, yo, sounds warm down there. And then they went all the way down, started pillaging, and I will give them a little bit bonus here. The Vikings didn't even consider their raids on England as an actual warfare. It was more of just a pillaging thing because they didn't worship Thor. I'm vastly oversimplifying it, but that's essentially what happened, okay? And I will say this. The Vikings were such big menaces that it made England lock in and actually invent something like, I don't know, armor. I don't know, an actual military to defend their borders, okay? That's essentially what the Vikings were able to do. However, it was through much bloodshed. It is so strange to me. Like, this is actually just a rant just about history in general. Isn't it kind of strange how, like, if there was an army that did 90% of the bullshit that the Vikings did near modern day, they would be considered the most evil group of human beings ever to live. But because it happened far enough ago to, like, England, we're like, hey, whatever, bro. Like, no, bro. England had to become brutal because they had to run a fade with the Vikings over and over again, okay? And here's the fucked up part. They didn't even really lose. They just got assimilated into their culture. That's essentially what happened, okay? You want to start with the Franks. A lot of them went over to what would become France. A lot of them went over and was able to get land in England, okay? Ireland. You're talking about people like Ivar the Boneless that were able to conquer Northern Ireland. And then you had the people from there literally rebel and get away from them. Bro, the Irish people have been through some shit, okay? Nearly erased 3 separate times in history. But we don't bring it up because this was a little something that we like to call Caucasus on Caucasus violence, okay? I want you to think about that, man. The English people, the Vikings, were trying to exterminate the Irish people, and then they get rid of them, and we just wonder why they're so feisty. No, bro, Conor McGregor, like, imagine this, bro. You had an army of Connors going up against Thor Bjornsson. Damn right, bro, you had to be feisty. That's a 5v1 battle every single time. Absolutely not, man. Okay, if I'm ranking the Vikings, okay, a lot of the aura you're going to give them is because you thought Ragnar Lothbrok was cool. At the end of the day, that's the truth. I am putting the Vikings in mid, bro. I think they're mid, okay? Now, military dominance, I have to put them up there. The fact is they did conquer Northern Ireland and were able to subjectify the locals when they came from Norway. You want to talk about Empire of the North Sea? You want to talk about, like, the kings of there? Like, there's a lot that I can give them, and they became more aura-filled and based as it went on. But, like, Vikings, as you know them, bro, it was essentially just a bunch of, like, This is an effed up part. Back in the day, bro, the incels were the one that you sent the raid shit. Like, we just want to gloss over that. Like, no, bro. These weren't, like, good people. These were people that were like, hey, bro, you're telling me all the men leave their women in the village? Shee, bro. I'm going in there and I'm not making that joke, dog. I'm gonna put them in mid, because at the end of the day, bro, it's not like they were standing army to army most of the time and then went toe to toe. Like, no, bro, they were fighting priests and villagers. That's essentially what it came down to. The Spartans. Now, okay, as much as I would love to just glaze the Spartans as absolute testosterone personified, wearing like scantily clad clothing and fucking capes, that's not what it was, bro. Okay, I think this is another one, bro. I think it's crazy how we, like, look at the Spartans and we have, like, this, like, almost red pill type of outlook on it, when, like, no, in reality, these were a bunch of, like, young boys that were, like, abused in every manner, and we just kind of molded them into soldiers. Like, no, dog, bro, Sparta was not, like, I mean, maybe you can argue some types of based, but, like, at the same time, dude, it sucked. It sucked to be a Spartan, bro. When it's considered lucky to be 25 years old, bro, and if you haven't seen a woman until you are, again, 25 other than your mother, I'm just saying, bro, okay? There's probably some war stories that aren't getting told around the campfire when you finally get back. That's all I'm saying, dog, okay? It ain't nothing wrong with that. It's in the big old 2025. However, people got a really weird outlook on the Spartans. Like, no, dog. It was a dog eat dog world, okay? Like, bro, no, like, I'm gonna try not to make that joke, but bro, no, Spartans. It was a very dominance-based hierarchy. That's all I'm really saying, okay? And I do believe. All I'm saying, bro, people used to wrestle in the nude back then, okay? Like, I'm like dancing around it, doing a little cha-cha, but, like, the fact is like, no, the Spartans were probably getting all ditty with it during war times, but damn, were they not good, because they had that bond, okay? That is what the Spartans were effectively. Now, the 300 Spartans versus the Peasants is objectively impressive, which really does anger me, the fact that it is also one of the most lied about historical events of all time. Like, no, it wasn't just 300 Spartans, it was 300 Spartans plus around, like, 12,000 other armies around Greece. But the Spartans were the one that held that shit on lock. And then they went up against 300,000 Persians, the immortals of the King Xerxes. Like, the Spartans were putting in work, is what I'm trying to tell you. But, like, in terms of aura for aura, like, no. They're going a lot maximum. But I'm going to put them in a lot because I don't want to put them in maximum yet. I will argue that they will go up. But I just think, like, a little smidgen overrated. That's all I'm going to say, bro. Medieval peasants. Isn't it kind of like, does it bum you out a little bit? Like, think, like, the majority of wars throughout history, like, the idea of being a soldier by occupation is a pretty weird idea. No, like, think about it. Like, historically speaking, bro, your job of being a soldier is really different. Like, no, bro, just every able-bodied man was a soldier, but you were a farmer 90% of your time, and then when your local king wanted to run a fade with his inbred cousin, they would call you up and say, Horkvik, bring your brother. We must kill them today. And then you're coming in with, like, a pitchfork over here getting ready, and you're like, I don't know if I want to do this, Horkvik. And then you're thinking to yourself, I want to go back to, like, looking at a chick's ankles and farming potatoes. Like, that's what you want to go back to. But then you see this 27-year-old knight that came from daddy's money and then proceeds to decapitate your brother and cuts off your hand, and then you have to go back to farming, working for him because he conquered your lands. Bro, war used to suck, and it still does suck, but now it's just pay to win, and only a few people got credit cards. We turned war into classic clans, is what essentially I'm telling you, bro. It used to be metal versus metal. Now it is Bluetooth iPhone bomb 3000 being dropped from the sky like a razor blade onto a mouse. That's essentially what it's turning into. Zero aura. It's peasants, dog. Okay? Like at least we make our peasants that join the military look and give them drip. The ability to gain aura. Peasants. Y'all were the equivalent of meat fodder. 0 Mongolian soldiers. Ugh, bro, listen. I understand the Mongolians, okay? If you want to talk about, like, I think a lot of the greatest feats of the Mongolian Empire are essentially just boiled down to one crazy motherfucker named Genghis. Okay, Genghis Khan was on such a different level of Fade Runner, okay? Like, there's few names for Genghis, okay? There is the punishment of Allah, the accursed one, the Khan of Khans, the Khan of the universe, or Aaron the plumber. These guys did not give a shit, okay? They're over here strolling up on their horse that they've been on for the past 7 days to the point where their leg muscles are actually atrophying. That's a real thing. They had a problem with Mongolians where their muscles would, in their torso, would start atrophying because they wouldn't walk around because they were on their horses, okay? Yeah, no. That's another thing that kind of ruins it. Like, no. A lot of your favorite, like, warriors throughout history were probably just cavalrymen, if we're just going to be real here. And then they're over here strolling up on the horse, absolutely decking fools with their Mongolian warbows that were actually 140 pounds of draw weight, which is terrifying. You over here, and then this packing bodies, absolutely packing bodies, dude. That's terrifying, okay? Dude, these guys were so good at drawing the bow that the muscles on their back were actually decaying at a slower rate because of how dense they were. That is aura. That is, my brother, okay? Imagine literally causing armies that you are going up against to surrender because they feel the vibration of your marching horses against them. Dog, okay? That's insane. Okay, number 2, okay? Well, the samurai beat the Mongols. No, they didn't. They actually didn't. No, they didn't, bro. Stop playing Ghost of Tsushima and thinking that's what actually happened. And then JRE says for the 3rd time, you know the samurai. You know what the craziest thing the samurai ever did? The samurai were able to beat the Mongols. I'm actually going to move up the samurai right after this because I want to rant about them. No, Joe, they fucking didn't. 90% of the Mongolian invasion fleet was wiped out by a fucking tsunami. Dude, they actively were like, dude, oh my god. Oh my goodness, bro, thank God, though. Oh, I cannot believe we just got saved by the tsunami. What do you mean they have enough men to send another invasion? Yes, they're coming back again. Oh, sweet oh, we're cooked. There's no way that we're gonna survive this. Another tsunami! Dog, Japan is living in hardcore Minecraft while everyone else is living in creative. It's insane over there. Boom, another tsunami wipes out the Mongolian war fleet. And then enough of them are able to get to the island of Tsushima. Okay, it's Tsushima. I don't give a shit. Okay, so that's why when Jin Sakai says, I am the storm, that's literally meant to be a stand-in to the storm wiping out the Mongolian war fleet. Okay? No, in reality, it was the Mongolian war fleet that took them out, and the Mongolian warlords that they were fighting, most of them were Korean conscripts that were just put into the war as basically meat fodder. Dude, there are stories of Koreans that were fighting with the Mongols, literally begging the Japanese not to take them out because they were basically war slaves. And then the Japanese samurai were like, we have slayed their greatest warriors. No, you didn't. Actually didn't. You got saved by the bell, bro. Twice. I'm putting the Mongols in maximum. At maximum. Yes, you have to put them there. Now we're talking about the samurai. Okay, now I'm going to roast the samurai. You want to know what's fucked up? Okay, you want to know what's effed up about the samurai, dog? Okay, we look at the samurai like they were these amazing swordsmen. No, bro, they started out as horseback archers. That's a real thing, bro. Those big squares that they have was just meant for them to shoot an arrow, and if they took one to the shoulder, they'd be able to survive. That's essentially what they were. Now, I'm not saying they weren't good. They are going to go very high. But, brother, they did not defend against the Mongols. Not really, bro. They got saved by the fucking weather. Oh, and you want to know what happened right after that? They had a civil war because their entire society was essentially Burp. Their entire society was essentially the equivalent of a glass cannon militant group, because the moment they have to defend something and they didn't make any money off of the defense because all of their entire society was built off of conquering land, and that land was able to generate money, and then they were able to make something off of it, they lost resources in defending against the Mongols that they had a civil war. Dude, the Mongols, literally 1/10 of the military force that got to Japan was enough to cause them to have a civil war. Their very presence caused them to have a civil war, dog. I'm putting them in a lot, but oh my gosh, are they overrated. Holy crap, they are overrated. They just got drip. That's what it is, bro. And it is absurdly drippy. That's why it goes in a lot. I gotta put it there. The British Armada. Not really. I don't know why I said Armada. The British soldiers, the one that wear the redcoats, dog. Am I wrong? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this real quick, okay? Isn't it kind of... Is it aura filled? Or do I go against it? That they were able to conquer areas that even the Mongols weren't able to take over in India, dressed up as lobsters. Is that not kind of insane? Like, I don't know. I think that we overlook the British Empire in terms, like, I put them at one of the goats of history. I know people don't like my Empire video, but at the same time, I put them up there because game recognizes game. And I think when we're looking at British soldiers, I mean, if you're going, like, feet for feet, you have to put them pretty highly. But damn, bro, they do not have drip. Not at all. I'm going to put the British soldiers. Drip loses them out. Bro, when was the last time you saw an edit of a redcoat? I'm going to put them at the top of mid, dude. It just, they just lack drip. That's essentially what it boils down to. The Marines. Whoo-wee. Okay. Let's have a little story time, okay? Did you know that the Marines are the only military group that answers directly to the president? Do you know why they were a thing? They tried to disband the Marines multiple times throughout history. However, the reason that they didn't is because Marines get the fucking job done. Yes, bro, they're unorthodox. The founding of the Marines is so interesting to me because it essentially happened because pirates wanted to play fuck around and find out, and they touched the boats, okay? You see, during the founding of America, when we were able to win our revolution against the British. I know British people get salty about that. Yeah, I'm aware we didn't go up against the brunt of the British military. We just beat a few of your guys, and then France helped out a little bit. And I'll give France their dues later on. But when we gained our independence, a lot of the treaties that the British Empire had with privateers or pirates. Oh yeah, the entirety of pirates was started out because they found out that it was cheaper just to allow mercenaries to roam the waters than it was to actually have a navy. Yes, the entirety of pirates is actually just a mercenary group that went a little bit rogue. That's essentially what happened. Okay? However, part of that agreement was that the British and all of their protections that the American colonies had, because they were technically a part of the British Empire, expired. So, all of these merchant vessels of the American military, were not American military, just American merchant ships, were getting taken out by these pirate guilds. And the U.S. was not happy about this, so Thomas Jefferson called in the fucking Marines to build up a militant group to go to the pirates and essentially get them to surrender. And that's what they fucking did, bro. They touched one of our boats and we touched all of theirs, man. We came over there into their hometown. We came into their hood. We went into their house and we took their sword. Yes, no joke. The reason that Marines have this ceremonial, like, I forget what it's called, saber, cutlass. The reason that they have that is because that is meant to signify the first ever military win that the Marines had in any type of conflict, and that was against fucking pirates. Yeah, no, on a real note, bro, I'm like, look at the commercials. The Marines, the few, the proud, the Marines. Bro, they got, like, ugh. I gotta put them high. I'm putting them in a lot. Yes, I'm putting the Marines have more aura than your average British soldier because drip for drip, Marines win. That's as simple as that. The Knights Templar. I'll be real, dog. I think the Knights Templar might be one of the most overrated militant groups in the history of fucking ever. But I also think Knights are hilariously overrated. Like, no. Ladies, you don't want to get with a knight. You want to know why? Because the code of chivalry, all that really was that, yeah, I can't just walk into your house and SA you. That's essentially what chivalry is. Like, no. It was such a problem back in the medieval ages and dark ages where knights would just walk into people's houses and take their daughters. Like, this was such a problem that the king was terrified that it was going to happen, so he instituted laws of chivalry, and if they obey the laws of chivalry, they get lands, and if they break it, then they lose lands, okay? Imagine being such a Diddy-level menace that the king has to step in and actually say, "Ayo, bro, if you just, take girls against their will, we're gonna take your lands." Okay, what do you want me to do? Give them 3 pigs. Bro, yeah, knights are hilariously overrated. The entire idea of chivalry is basically a scam. Like, no. Just be nice to people, okay? Just do that. When we're talking about the Knights Templar, greatest feat, I mean, like, they were key and instrumental in the first win over the Crusades of I think it was the Fatimid Caliphate. I think, Fatimid? I think so. I'm messing that up. I think it's like Fatimid Caliphate. Oh my gosh, I'm like... That's causing like a brain tumble right there. Anyways, Knights Templars came in, were able to conquer the land of Jerusalem and have a holy kingdom. Okay, that is aura-filled, and I'm sorry, with all the edits that are made out of them, I kind of have to put them pretty high. You know what? I'm going to move the Spartans up to maximum, and I'm going to move the Knights Templars above the Marines, right next to the Samurai. Drip for drip, but I got to put them there. The Hashashins. Yes, I do mean Hashashins, okay? This is actually the closest thing that we have to real-life Assassin's Creed. Yes. So the entirety of, like, the Assassin Brotherhood, the Order of Assassins, was a real thing that was occurring within the Middle East, and then they were made as almost like an order to, like, keep the interest of the caliphates at the time. Now, if there was, like, political dissonance, if there was, like, some Christian leaders that were coming into the area, these guys would be dispatched to get rid of them. So the entire thing of assassins comes from the Hashashins. If you, like, similar words, similar, yes. I like heard this on Joe Rogan, and I just refuse to believe it, that the entirety of, like, the Assassin Brotherhood literally comes because, like, these European dudes thought these assassin dudes were so cool, and yes, they did chew hash. Yes, marijuana does make its way into this. I just think that's hilarious. I really do, bro. I'm sorry, bro. The Order of Assassins, that being a real thing, that gets you pretty high. Oh, not them. Oh, wait, I gotta put them back on 0. Oh, now I nearly moved the Peasants. No. When I'm moving the Assassins, I'm gonna move them next to the Vikings. But a lot of their feats are either assassinations and not outright, like, attacking in front of you, which is kind of cringe, I'll be real. But I'm gonna put them in mid. I think that's fair. Most of you guys didn't even know about them. The Confederacy. Weak. Pathetic. Out of here. Get out of here, boy. Out of here, boy! Okay, no, on a real note, bro. The Civil War is really weird to me. You want to know why the Civil War is really weird to me? Because if you try to go into it with, like, a level of nuance, the problem you're going to run into really, really quick is it, like, when people want to inject nuance into the Civil War, the nuance is always like, oh, well, the Confederates were actually fighting for states' rights. State rights for what? What was Article 1 of the Confederacy, buddy? Oh, it was slavery? Okay, I literally don't care what anything else you have to say. Well, not everybody had slaves. Okay, then why were you fighting so fucking hard for them? Like, I'm sorry, bro. That's like me going to war for the idea of, like, 3 people to have an iPhone that was made by slaves. Like, no, at the end of the day, bro, like, if we're talking about, like, the Confederacy, like, I remember people were, like, putting up, like, this big stink of people taking down statues of, like, Robert E. Lee, which was, like, a Confederate general back in the Civil War. And here's the thing, he was good. He was a really good general. Like, there's no other way around it. Abraham Lincoln was actually famous for being terrified of Robert E. Lee because they thought that he was going to be able to do enough to win the Civil War. They literally had the best generals. Like, that has to be brought up, too. Like, no, the Confederacy had superior generals. We just had superior tactics and superior, like, actual soldiers. Okay? Union Gang was Michigan 411, baby. Okay? But when we're looking at the Confederates, it is kind of strange that we just allowed them to have statues. Like, no. Like, yes, tearing down statues is bad. But where it does weird me out is, like, are you going to acknowledge how strange it is that we allowed the loser of a civil war to build monuments to actual traitors to the United States? Like, no, that's what it is. No, Robert E. Lee is like a traitor to the United States. He is. Okay? Yeah, he's a great general. It is crazy that we allowed them to have a statue. I'm going to put the Confederates, bro, 0 aura. 0. Yes, actually 0. Why? What aura do they have, dog? What do they got? Okay, like, superior generals. Still lost. Out of here, little bro. Okay, 0. The Air Force. Just the American Air Force, because, I think we just gloss over, like, how terrifying it is. Like, no. Like, the majority of history is bow and arrows and horseback. Like, no, bow and arrow was the meta of military for literally 90% of it. And then cavalry was another meta of it. The Air Force is the current meta of warfare. To the point where, like, our global dominance is basically because we have things that go so fast that only a few kinds of human beings are allowed to use them. That is how crazy it is, bro, okay? The F-22 Raptor, there is a new type of aircraft that we're showing off right now that apparently has the ability to, like, pilot other drones around it, so it's like a mini armada, which is terrifying. We're getting closer and closer to TIE fighters in space. I'm sorry, bro, it's terrifying. Like, the idea that we can drop ordnance on any square foot on the planet and mobilize to anywhere on the planet within 48 hours because our Air Force is just that peak. Like, you can't do anything to it for the most part. Okay? Like, no. Our Air Force is so dominant. If an F-22 Raptor gets damaged at all, it is immediately a headline. Like, no. Like, people will flex that as, like, a win over, like, oh, look at an American fighter jet was able to get taken down. We literally have the best and the most of them. You take down one, Lockheed Martin already had a contract to make 50 of them. That is how good they are. I'm maximum. Actually maximum, bro. Our air superiority is so good, it just made us the de facto, like, military leader of the entire world. The Winged Hussars. I know I'm going to say that wrong, but, Poland had some absolutely insane aura farmers back in the day. Like, if I had to be real here, dog. Like, they were really over here having cavalrymen with fucking wings on their backs because they were like the angels of war, which is so ridiculous. Do I know what their feats were? Absolutely not. I don't know what their feats were. Do I really care? No, because Aura Farm is Aura Farm, okay? Because there hasn't been a lot of feats, they are carried purely by their looks. And for that alone, I'm putting them in some. They go above 0. They go above the Confederates, bro. Strolling in the battle with military battle angel wings is so insane to me that you have to put it in some just for that. The Army of Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay. France. The last time y'all motherfuckers had aura was when Napoleon Bonaparte was a part of it, dude. Y'all had one of the craziest fall-offs ever. And here's the thing, bro. I will roast my British fan base, okay? Because y'all also had a fall-off from the greatest global empire ever to you're kind of basically just an island. Let's just keep it real here. And then when we're talking about, like, France, okay? Y'all had Napoleon Bonaparte running a fade with the entirety of Europe, going band for band with Russia, to now, Evil Mustache Man strolls up to your block and takes your hood, and you do nothing. Absolutely, not one shot fired, he took your entire territory. Napoleon Bonaparte, I gotta put up there, bro. I'm putting him in a lot. Above the Knights Templar, right next to the Samurai. You could argue even goes even higher, but this is where I gotta get into. Was it the army of Napoleon Bonaparte that had aura, or was it Napoleon that had it? That is the question. The Zulu Army ran by Shaka Zulu. No. Okay, I wanted to throw on some things that were a little bit different on the list. However, I'll just be real here. The greatest feat of the Zulu Empire is they were able to beat a few private military groups that were hosted by Europe. That's essentially it. Like, no. People do romanticize the story of Shaka Zulu a little bit too much for me, because they'll get it to the point where it's like a Black Panther society that was able to beat the Europeans. Like, no. What basically happened is, like, you beat one company of one militant group, and then the moment Europe locked in, they came in and basically said, yeah, bro, y'all ain't shit. Like, brother, we could take this entire land overnight, okay? We'll let you have your little wins here, but we're going to take your king, and then we're just going to let you live in squalor. Like, The Zulu Empire is one of those where I'm like, okay, their greatest feat is that they were able to make it competitive with a superior fighting force with superior tech. That's essentially what was able to do, and for that reason, I'm putting them in some. I think that's valid. The Army of Evil Mustache Man, you guys know what I'm talking about. You do. Okay, here's the problem, dog. They did have absolutely insane drip. Like, actually insane amounts of drip, but I think the aura that they have is, like, evil. Like, I think it's bad, but I do think it's kind of crazy that, like, they were the original Balenciaga models, and they ruined the gray and red dynamic so hard that now nobody can use it. Like, bro, thanks, okay? Now, in terms of aura, I'm going to put them in mid. Okay? In other words, bro, I think it was the feats that made them more infamous than anything else, but I'm going to put them in mid. And finally, Roman soldiers throughout history. Now, if I'm taking them as a whole, here's the thing, dude, okay? You have to put them high. Like, the Roman Empire was so ahead of the time back then. We're talking like they were 300 years around any other military around them. You want to talk about like their war with Carthage and the fact that like Hannibal Barca was able to make it competitive with them. That's true. But then you got the rise of Basilius the Last Roman. Was able to reconquer the lands that they lost with their last civil war. Like, dude, you got to put it up there. You have to put Roman centurions, if you want to take it better. Even the Byzantine Empire had some aura there. They just lost a lot of their strategizing strength. I'm going to put the Roman soldiers, honestly, in maximum. And I'm going to put them right next to the Mongolian horsemen. I think that's valid. And there you go. That is historical armies with the most aura. Okay, this was a good rant. That one felt good to get out of my system. I've been feeling like a good history video. And it's been a minute since I did an aura video over, like, groups like this. I know some people get annoyed by it, but other people seem to like it. And at the end of the day, bro, if I can make one person happy and if I could teach something about history to you guys, then my job is done, okay? Please consider to like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I think that's possible with the support of you guys. And with all that out of the way, I hope you enjoy the video, and I will see you in the next one. Adios, guys.